Hello, welcome to Luna and the Druid, our channel where today we're going to focus on tarot. Luna, what are the topics for today?
Tonight, we will discuss the importance of asking the right question, as well as going through a tarot spread, or card spread, which supports that, because spreads are not only helping with tarot. You can use actually any cards, oracle cards as well, with the certain spread, any spread. And then we want to discuss the difference between a classic way of reading cards and an intuitive one. So hello and welcome. So lovely to have you here tonight. And let's kick off with the importance of asking the right questions. Jan, when somebody asks you a question, what the future holds for me, what do you tell them?
I tell them that we can go into that, but that it would be wiser to go for a certain topic of what you want to see in the future. What do you want to experience in the future? So to create a bit more clarity and a bit focus, you could better ask, for instance, what does my love life? What will my love life bring to me, and what can I do to improve that? Or same question, then replace love life for career, or my housing situation, or even my sense of well-being.
So it is important to ask specific question, but maybe something deeper than just a yes or no, or trying to have a certain answer, a certain prediction, and focus on the way, on how could I get to my dream becoming a reality, becoming true.
Yeah. So a good question. In essence, helps you getting to the root of the issue. You know, when you ask, "Oh, give me a general reading," you get a general reading, and it's this deep. And when you have a specific topic you want to investigate, we can drill to the cause, to the blockades, to the things that can help you, and then finally how to manifest the desired outcome. What you can do yourself to manifest the desired outcome, or even, and that's when it gets interesting, what the future holds in that perspective. So is there maybe a surprise, a gift, or a present for you in the reading that will empower you? So going to the root of the questions, focus your attention, focus your energy, align your energy or your chakras with the question is very, very helpful.
Mhm. Before we go any further, for those who are watching who practice reading cards, it doesn't have to be necessarily only tarot. If you could share, what kind of questions do you ask cards? I would love to see it. If not, that's okay. And that's the same question to you, Jan. What are the most questions you ask the most? What are the questions you ask cards most often?
You mean for myself or the ones that I get most asked for?
Both, please.
For myself, yeah. For myself, it's usually about things that could take some improvement. For instance, I do a reading every few months about the future of the channel and what we can do to improve the channel, or what can I improve to in my career to become a better reader, or even become the best in my trade in my area, in my region, or what can we do to yeah to sort things out. Or this summer I had some little health issues. What can you do to improve there? Should I go to the doctor? Should I work on my throat chakra? Should I align better? That would be my personal question. So career, our YouTube channel, and maybe the health situation. Yeah.
What about with clients? What
Clients.
questions are the most common you come across within your
There's a broad range from very unspecific And the most unspecific is a client sits like this and says, "You tell me what the question is." to
Definitely our favorite.
to a person who uh, throws literally their whole bucket of issues on the table and us to go in there. But the focus most of the times is love life, very, I think, the most. Then definitely career or career moves. Housing situations is very often, and I regularly also get questions about the spirit world.
Mm.
There are messages from the deceased, or is there something I can say about something about someone who has left, and what's playing there, and what how do they feel, and how do they assess the situation that they're in now, and how do they assess the relationship with the ones that left behind,
Mhm.
and vice versa.
Of course. And
Yeah,
speaking of heavens and talking to those we cannot see, but there still are. Hello, our beautiful viewers. There is some movement in the comments already. Claire says she can't join us live, but she will. It's so lovely that you came just to say it. So wonderful. And hello, Richard. Hello, Magda.
Richard,
And
my
yes, and hello, Prairie. I hope I pronounce it right.
very
If not, I apologize. And she says, I prefer to do blind channeled readings. The less I know about someone, the better. I will use my cards to clarify what I have said and for visual proof of my channeled message if they may need it. Oh, that's a wonderful way
yeah.
of reading cards. How about that, Jan? How it works for you? I know how it works for me, but I'm curious. I'll share in a second how
Please
it.
do. Please share your things too. Yeah. Um, so a client who, for instance, has not much to say, has not much to offer. Of course, we try to get in touch. Sometimes I ask the client to. I keep the cards in front of me and ask the client to put their left hand on the card and create a bit of rapport, create a bit of an exchange, an energy exchange. You know, um, energy is important. It's a sacred act. It's a ritual to read cards. So I do an energy exchange, then come up with the cards. And for me, then the most preferred way would to be a dialogue. So I see something, uh, and they give me a feedback. Then I give a clarification about the feedback, and all stuff like that. Yeah. And how do you see that?
To me, it depends on the client. Often there are people who try to test out the reader and just see how it works, if that person is good at what they do. And very often I get the eyes wide open because the story which is unfolding on the table is the story of their life, even though sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about in terms of I don't know the client's life story. I don't know what they're going through, but I see on their faces that the energy I'm picking on, it's on spot. But the more I know about the situation, the more detailed information and I can more adapt the energy I'm reading to the certain situation. However, it is not needed to know anything to perform a tarot reading, to give those answers, to find and give guidance to a problem the person is saying. And here we have another interesting comment, which I've lost right now, and it's too small on the screen to read it for me. Bear with me.
I also won't ask a question if I'm having a fellow divine gifted one providing a reading for me. I always just say whatever the cards come out is what I'm meant to hear. And that's very important what they say there, or what she says there. Um, what one thing I had got from from a client, from a reading, a review on Google, and she said it was a story, but most important, the Jan was very, very good in explaining in simple words what the cards meant. Sometimes I know we get readings, we get very conceptual, and then from conceptual we become clearer and clearer and clearer. And um, sometimes you need a little help from your seeker, from your sitter, to get you exactly to the point. And people sometimes have problems uh, understanding exactly what I'm trying to tell to them. And that's when dialogue and questions and some background are very helpful. So you can use a language that your seeker understands.
To me, asking spirit a question is a base of my reading.
Bingo. Yeah.
I base my readings on communicating with spirit and communicating with my cards. Obviously, cards are my tools, but we have that special bond and we communicate. And I don't have to have a specific question from a client, but within my practice, my question to the cards is important. And it's the thing which actually gives a base to the entire reading. Because cards will tell a story. The more questions I will ask them, the better answers I will get. Simple as it is.
Yeah.
And with that, we could actually talk a little bit about the structure, because you can ask questions according to what's on the table or with what's coming up within the conversation with a client. But you can also build a reading and give it a structure. And that structure is called card spread. Let's talk about
Yeah.
that. And let's talk why it is important to have and use a spread. Is it better or not?
Yeah. In my perspective, uh, a spread isn't something that's exactly necessary or obligatory. You can just pull card by card by card and build a story on what shows up, and then you, for instance, you take two cards, and from the two you choose one to explain further, and so you build like a pyramid of cards, and and then that's organic, and that's oftentimes intuition. Um, I read a lot at events where I have specific time for a reading, and then a spread is structure. I know exactly if I lay down a Celtic cross, I can do a reading in 25 in less than 25 minutes. A further explanation in another 5, finish a reading in 30 minutes, ready for the next client who has an appointment. So um, the spread gives structure, gives me the ability to have the timing right, and the reading. And we'll see that later. The spread will also give context to each of the cards, because the same card in a different location can have a totally different meaning. So cards, location, neighbors, and it all works together in creating the story. And so that's the importance of the spread. So you can go totally, totally as it comes, or totally structures and many structures and many phases in between. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, to me, as I said, it's all about questions. So often I want to use a specific spread. I am very intuitive within my cards and I base it around my questions. But sometimes it is easy and important to have that journey and have that structured, because to me with spreads is like knowing where we're going, because sometimes we have to know the end goal before we start even our journey.
Yeah.
And this is a wonderful idea within the comments. That being said, when doing a collective reading via online here, I will use my decks. That's Prairie. I'm so happy that you suggested that, and I'm so looking forward to that. Let's do that. As it is a lot of energies and that visual proof and the card message many can relate or resonate with. I am
That's it.
super curious what's going to come up for you. So, yes, thanks for suggesting that. I really love this idea.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Luna. What further do you think is helpful when you're reading for cards with a question? What about interpretation? Is it easier to get them to the meaning of the card, or a deeper meaning of the card, or a different meaning of the card based on a question?
And this is the favorite part of that conversation for tonight because I'm an intuitive reader. I base my readings on intuition. Of course, I will use the traditional meaning of the card most often. However, how many times I will have a divine message, something I will channel, which has nothing to do with a card. Card is just a trigger. And I believe every reader has their own way of reading cards. Some will say that there is a specific way of reading cards, like using Celtic spread
Cross.
you mentioned here before. But to me, it's all about following that intuition, which was meant today as well already. And I think this is the basic for a tarot reading, because as you said before, the same card can have a completely different meaning within a different position, but also within a different client. One card can mean something for a woman, but something completely different for a man, and that's okay. I always say that I'm a card reader, and I literally read cards. What does it mean? It means I look at the imagery of the card itself as well. It's the feeling I'm getting from the card, but also sometimes there will be something specific on one card for that particular deck, which is actually a key for that client or for myself sometimes, within the message it holds, within the guidance it brings. So absolutely, I'm totally combining intuition with traditional way of reading cards because it's important. Tarot is all about symbolism. The more you study tarot, the more you know what specific color means, what specific shape or creature means, the deeper you can go within the reading. And Jan, you specialize in tarot. How it is for you?
Yeah. Very specific things. I think very specific. What I do always have is the court cards. The court cards are the cards that have impersonations, like the prince, the princess, or the knight and the page, the queen and the king. And um, according to the books, they have their meanings. But oftentimes, I say from a court card, when it shows up with a person, for instance, a woman in her 50s, and queen comes up, I say, this card most likely represents you. Uh, or when it's a love reading and the king or a prince comes up, or a knight, I say, okay, there's your partner. Or when someone asks about someone who died, and I get the Prince of Cups, for instance, and I can say, okay, this is someone who died way too early and died of a disease. And I can confidently say that, although it's never nowhere in the books, but I can confidently say it because I know from my experience and from my intuition that it works. And there are cases that I don't say it, and that's also intuition, because then I sense it is not right. Past position for any woman, and I get the emperor in the past position, I know she went through a breakup. Either the emperor, the, the late husband died, they got a divorce, they got a bad breakup, he vanished, whatever. But that's something I can totally rely on when I lay cards. When I get this card in this position, it doesn't mean stability, or it doesn't mean a dictator or something. No, it just means a man that's no longer there. And yeah, that's intuition. That's how it works for me. Hey, Luna, you're muted now. I don't hear you. I don't hear you. Sorry. So, when Luna, tell me.
Richard here
Yeah.
says, so it isn't preferable to ask such an intuitive reader whenever she is naturally receiving an information before asking any question. It depends. Recently, I had a client who was very closed off. And when I asked him, what brings you here? What I can shine light on? He was like, you tell me. And the way it works is I used first half of a reading to get to the point, to get to the problem, which I could focusing on finding help and finding solution already. So it isn't preferable to ask. It depends on the client. It depends on how people feel, because often people are scared of tarot. There is that bit of resistance that because it's unknown, they don't know, they don't realize how it works. All of a sudden they sit in front of the person who they see sometimes for the first time in their life, and all of a sudden that person reads the story of their life, reads what's happening to them. It can be scary. I prefer to know at least which area I should focus on, because one way or another I will get to the point, I will get to the problem, I will get to where I need to be, because spirit will guide me there.
Yeah.
However, the better the client is prepared, which means the better they know what they came for, what is their intention, what is that they want to get from that reading, the better it works for them. And we actually have an entire episode about how to prepare yourself for a tarot reading. Perhaps later we can put that in the description box here, because it's a great episode where we go through step by step on how to prepare yourself before receiving a tarot reading in order to get the most out of it.
Yeah, it's very important what you say there about the connection with the client. The client is holding back and stuff. Tarot is a spiritual and intuitive tool. It's not just about random predictions, about offerings, insights, healing, guidance. When clients take the time to reflect on what they want to ask, it deepens the sacredness and intention, and you create a more meaningful connection between the querent, the reader, and the cards. I have my favorite card to explain the story. That's the tree of Pentacles, or the Tree of Discs from the Thoth Tarot, where we have the reader, the querent, and the cards and the realm of spirit. And as you can see, there's connections there. And if the querent cuts the connection off, I'm on my own, on their attic. And there's a treasure trove of toys there. There's a treasure trove of stuff lying around there. And to find, of course, you always find something that resonates with the client. But to go to their specific point, they have to open up. They have to tear down, at least make a crack in the wall surrounding them, which actually they sometimes they have. People see you at a holistic fair. They walk to your table to sit down, and they say, "Tell me about my life." And when they do it from behind the wall, I first have to bring out my sledgehammer and tear it down, because I need the contact with the client. A client who doesn't want to open up, then it's just me and the cards. and then the holistic part of it goes out of the window. For
Mhm.
of course, um, with experience, with the way I work, I always get there. It's never a big problem. I'm doing it. For me, the 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever time it takes, will pass, and we'll get to a solution. But it's way more easier, and we can get, like I said, way more deeper into the root of the question when there is an interaction, when there is openness, even spiritual openness. You don't even have to do it with words, but look me in the eye and show me that show me what you need to hear.
Yeah. I love the comments tonight because I can see that we have people who work with cards, and those are intuitive readers. And Prairie says, I do the same. I rarely use the books, especially in the decks, unless I'm called to. And I do the same. Sometimes Spirit will literally tell me, check the guidebook. Because very often I won't be able to tap into that specific message the author had on his mind or her mind. That works with me particularly great with or using oracle decks. Sometimes the guidebook is actually a key, and I will have oracle decks which I will use and work with the deck based on a guidebook, and there is nothing wrong with it. It actually allows you to go deeper. And sometimes I love it when Spirit is just pointing me in the right direction, which sentence I should read. And it's amazing how it works. And again, it's intuition, it's trusting that inner knowing, that voice which is guiding you. And I encourage our viewers to try to listen to that voice of intuition while they're picking cards, while trying to find guidance, insights. And here is an important part. Everyone is different and will take a specific message from a card, and then next we'll take it. Exactly. This is the key. Every tarot reader has their own way specific to them. And there will be common aspects, of course. But I think that's the beauty of reading cards, that I will do it in a completely different way than Jan does. And Jan will do it in a completely other way compared to other 100 readers. But what we have in common is that it is a spiritual work, and that we channel light. Just to answer another question, which talks here about being entirely separate from influence of the occult. We're here on Luna and the Druid. We are creatures of light. We work with light, and we are on the white side, not the dark, so there is no worries. We have nothing to do with an occult. By the way, hello, Liberty. So lovely to have you here, and welcome.
And thanks for your comments.
Yes. We love, guys, when you're so active, because it enriches the discussion and brings so many new levels. So feel free to tap into the discussion. Liberty also admires the library behind you. Question here. What if you are not meant to access the spirit world, but through Christ? Oh, that's a deep question.
Yeah.
Well, I can speak only for myself, but this is an assumption I'm going to use, that every reader will tap within a different energy. And yes, some tarot readers will work with Christ. I often tap within Christ's energy. This is the high vibrational energy. However, within my work, I will also connect with the angels, with other ascendant masters, with archangels, and other spirits coming to assist me within the work I'm doing, within guiding that client into a solution, into the insight they need to get. So I think it depends on spiritual connection of a reader and which kind of energies they're tapping in and they resonate, because for some, Christ may be the main energy they connect with. Some readers will work with angels and angels only. So it's a very personal thing, in my opinion.
You're so right there. Yeah, it's personal, Um, the cards themselves are just cards. The reader themselves are just people who um, who love to work with the cards, would love to work with the meaning of the cards, and would like to empower other people to uh, to give them some clarity, to give them some inspiration about uh, what they could do. It's not necessarily necromancy or fortune telling in the traditional way uh, of this. This is just a tool for coaching. It's a tool for helping for helping people, give them understanding of the things that are playing in their lives. And I regard it as, like you said, Luna, it comes from it comes from a position of light, a position of bringing light into someone's life.
Yeah.
And there's various ways of doing it. Some people go to churches, some people go to spiritual meetings or yoga class, and some people visit life coaches or readers that help them making sense of what's happening in the world, which is so important.
Mm. Liberty here says, and it's a verse from the Bible, I am the way, I am the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And this is that deep spiritual connection. But I think and feel it's a very individual, because here on earth we are in the school of life and we have God's given free will, which
Yeah,
allows us to explore and learn through different paths. And for some, it will be through Christ. For some, it will be through different religion. And for some, will be through a completely different way of approaching
yeah, yeah,
spirituality.
yeah.
And I think there is a room for everything, for everyone, and for every single belief, as long as it's not harming another one, as long as it's not harmful for ourselves as well. But thank you for that comment. It's a lovely. And Magdalena says also, hi, lovely to have you here tonight. Even Anna is here today. Iron Firehorse, hello and welcome. So
Ah,
lovely to have you here,
our
guys.
friends.
What else do we have? Some hellos. I'm just quickly going through there is a question here. How would you discern one from another if one is trying to deceive you and has been around far longer than you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I always say people get the advice or the experience they need to have in their lives. If and I'm totally with you there. There are tricksters, there are con people also in the spiritual world or in the world of spiritual lessons or of readings uh, of helping. There are people with their own agendas, and still they attract the people that not that they need, but the people that are attracted to these teachers are there to learn their lessons as well. So
Mm.
they still get the experience they need to get. Only it's not a positive one, and it can, of course, it can end up in people turning their way, turning away from the path. We have the in the Catholic Church, we have all the abuse cases over the centuries that haven't been there, and still, the church survives. The church even sometimes has meanings about others. I say, let live and let live. If you're good for your people, I can be good for my people. Luna can be good for her people, and when someone, yeah, it's you get the experience you need. That's serendipity. That's how I live. These are my values.
Not to mention that I can be a treasure to one person and a villain to another person
Boom.
just by being me and having the same behavior, because we are all here to learn and we come here to experience certain thing, and many times coming across each other is a lesson we need to learn, is an experience we have to gain in order to discover something deeper. So I love this duality because it's a rule of coexistence, good and bad, light and the darkness. I love that question. Thank you very much. And there is a lovely comment here. I am Native American, so my version of a higher power is the creator. I absolutely agree with that, within my personal beliefs as well.
Mhm.
I also work with the angels, but my gifts are very much rooted and connected to the shamanistic nature and spirit. To me, nature itself is a spirit. And as humans, we love to put labels on stuff. We need that in order to understand it. We need to put a certain name. We need to help our brain to understand it more. However, to me, God, creator, the universe, it's a label which describes that certain energy, energy of creation itself. And the word creator is the one I really love. And thank you for pointing this out,
Mhm.
because that's a good
Correct.
point. The
I,
creation is the key here, I believe.
I believe in the power of thought and the power of creativity. So I often use the term the architect.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I
Someone
love
who someone who had a vision, or a collective that had a vision. I even believe that we as humanity create create the earth. We are creatures of the architect. Some people could say we're God's creatures, we're God's creation, we are emanations of the divine, and together we we create how the world goes. And I believe in individual creativity, but sometimes the things we want to create individually don't match the don't fit in what the collective things, and that's where we have our thresholds. That's where we run against, where we hit against a wall, where we hit a wall and can't proceed any longer because
it.
the collective keeps us from doing this. And then finding a way out, not you can withdraw code completely, but you can also find other ways, find different ways, look for broader perspectives to get to what you actually crave.
To me personally, we are God expressing himself in a different way, in a different body, different experience, different light story. But just like you said, we have the power to create our own personal life, which affects the energy around us, aka it creates a world around us. That's why it's so important. If we want to change the world, we need to change ourselves. This is the only way. The way out is to go within, to
Yeah,
change whatever needs to change in here, to become the best example and inspiration for others to follow that path. There is no other way, at
that's it.
least in my experience. If you know about one, please share it in the comments. I would love to find out.
Yeah. A,
Um,
a lovely comment here, comment for liberty here. I believe in the architect. I You agree, but that would say that there is a singular and not many deities. Um, I explained later that I believe that we're creating something together as conscious beings, as emanations, or as the way God, the divine, expresses themselves. And I'm totally on board with more deities. Uh, like there is not just one person, or not one human. Yes, one humanity, but it consists of many persons, and the collective is the architect, in
yeah,
my perspective.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um,
We're going off topic here.
it doesn't matter because this
It doesn't really matter. No, it doesn't.
yes took a wonderful, wonderful turn here, and I love it, and I really appreciate all your comments, guys, and
Likewise.
all your input
Likewise.
into that discussion, because it's great. I love those deep conversations, and I'm so happy to have a community of like-minded people, beautiful people who, even if they share a different way of looking at things, a different mindset, a different way of approaching life, or even a different belief system. We all can come here to have a discussion. Nobody is coming at each other's throat. Nobody is fighting for their way of looking and imposing that on another. I love that you are sharing your beliefs, and then I can share mine, and the Jan can share his, and somehow it all comes together. Because, as I said, we are being of lights, and there is love within our heart. And once we connect to that, that's all what matters.
It sure is. It sure is.
Yes. So
So,
let me see here. Oh my goodness. Richard says, and there are loads of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are wolves. Oh my goodness. There is so many people trying to take advantage of other people's goodness, kindness.
mhm,
Absolutely. There is,
yeah.
especially right now, when spirituality is a trend, where the awakening journey becomes a trend. It's happening, obviously, but it's becoming like top thing. Then it's many people who take advantage of it. I know many yoga teachers who will run classes but don't live according to main yoga principles. There will be many spiritual teachers, people who lead meditation circles, who will feed off people's energy. But again, the world is built from the light and from the dark. So we need to be really careful in who we open up on our energy to. And it can be difficult. How many times I was a person who was struggling because I opened my heart to a wrong person.
Mhm.
After a while, you learn that, especially since I started my work with energy. I'm better in reading people's energy, better in looking deep within their eyes and seeing what their soul holds. But you need to remember this is also a part of the lesson you have to go through, because there is no coincidence in life. Everything has a reason. Every person you come across has a lesson to teach you, even though if it's an importance of smiling, receiving and giving back a smile on the street,
Yeah.
or learning how to protect yourself, learning how to be less trustworthy or be trustworthy within a smaller group of people, because there are wolves out there who will try to devour your energy because they feed off your goodness, your light. But the moment we know that, and the moment we realize, we can ask God, Spirit, Creator, the Architect, to guide us and help us to show and see who's good for us and who's not.
Let's see. I have an interesting comment here from Paul. Hello to all from USA. I had a dream last night. I saw an open library and pillars that went all the way up. I was told to pull out a book. I wake up. Did I just have a visit to Heaven's library? Well, Paul,
Hmm,
this is
wonderful.
this is something I find extremely interesting, because I'm at this moment I'm developing myself as as a reader of the Akashic record, which is actually what you mean, which is the big library in. Well, we can now have better explanation for it, because we call it the library in the cloud, or the library that's not physical, but that's the library that stores all thoughts, all dreams, all notes, every thing that happens to all creatures on Earth, and you can access the library. You can find information there. You can also find information about past, present causes, and uh, information that heals you or helps you further down the line. I'll put a comment here um, about the name of it, and you can Google that. There's a world of
Yeah.
information and websites and YouTube channels that that are there, and Akashic records. Yeah, it's in
What
the.
you've just described, Paul, to me is the place I go when I want to tap within any information from the Akashic field. I absolutely agree here with Jan. From my own experience, that's how Akashic records library shows up to me as well, and very often within the meditations, the meditation teacher or Akashic record guide will get you to a library and will get you to pick a book, and you open that book and then you see. It's a
Yeah,
beautiful dream you had. Lovely.
yeah, and
Wonderful.
yeah, lovely, Paul. And I use the same set of data in the readings. That's what I call intuitive reading. But I try, and sometimes it's hard because there's a buzzing environment. But try to access the record and get information from that. So it's
Thank you for sharing that. That's a wonderful comment. I will read another one here, which sums up everything which we discussed here. You will know your intuition is what is there to give you discernment within that situation. This is probably a comment to what we were talking about on how to know what is good for us, or if the person is good for us or not. It is one of our human primal instincts that we were instilled than us to be able to survive from the beginning. Absolutely.
yeah.
Intuition is a God's given tool. This is our soul, our higher self. There is a lot of labels, there is a lot of names for that, even though they may mean different things for different people. To me, it's the essence of ourselves, that God spark, that energy we are, that infinity we are, which will guide us. Because again, if we are meant to learn from something from getting hurt, this is the reason why we get hurt in the first place. And if we won't learn from that situation in the first place, then the situation will occur and will repeat it itself in a different scenarios.
Hmm.
Sometimes within a harder scenario as well, because it's a wake up call. The universe will come and shake us sometimes. Hey, open up your eyes. And still, the free will gives us the choice to learn it or not. But that's perhaps a topic to a whole new discussions, which I would love to invite you already, because here on Luna and the Druid, we love to have those deep conversations about life, about spirituality, about tarot, about magic.
Yeah, or as was written in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything.
Mhm. Iron Firehorse, congratulations on finding that card. I remember a couple of weeks ago you shared that you couldn't find it. Well
Yeah,
done.
well done.
And I would really love to hear more about the camping. I hope it was amazing for you. I'm glad you did it. It was very peaceful and gorgeous. The fall colors and full moon were glorious. I feel a little bit jealous right now. Jealousy is an ugly thing, but
Yes, don't go there.
I'm glad you had a wonderful time
Yeah.
and that you had that connection with nature. That full moon was a really intense and strong one for sure.
Okay.
Yes. Also, we create whilst we, oopsie, I've lost this comment. There it is. Also, we create whilst we speak, manifest our thoughts and project it, attract what we feel. That's the power of magic we possess as humans on the 3D physical plane. Absolutely. This sentence talks about so many aspects, but yet it is the spell casting. There is a reason it's called spell casting, because by speaking things into existing or writing them down, which is equally powerful within my
Always.
opinion, within my experience.
Yeah.
This is how we manifest. However, there is that mind over matter, which is the key to manifesting, because first we need to see it within our mind's eye. We need to see that future in order to be able to create it. At least this is my belief about manifesting. If you have a different one, please feel free to share. I
Yeah.
always love to learn um, other people's way of looking at things as well. Diversity is the most beautiful thing, especially in the spiritual aspect. I, I couldn't agree more to that. We also have comments here about being careful who we open up ourselves to. And I'm glad, guys, that you are aware of that. Again, there is a lot of bad and negative energy waiting to suck our light completely, to destroy us and to keep us within the low vibrational level. But it is a part of experience as well, because it is a journey through darkness, because within the darkness, that's where growth happens, at least here on Earth.
Luna, I have a suggestion. We're
Yes.
getting to the end of the show. We
Mhm.
have a four-card reading prepared for today. What about we just do one reading together? So
You read
someone
my
takes,
mind.
someone takes question one, someone takes question two, someone takes card three, and someone takes card four. Would you
You
do? Would
do read my mind.
I always do, my dear. What do you do? Do you take the odds or the even ones?
But
What's that?
whatever, I don't mind. I can take the even.
The even.
I got two of swords, so that's a
Oh, that's an
confirmation
even.
for me to go for
That's
the
an even.
even ones.
Then I can accept the odds. So I'll bring out the prepared questions. The first one was, what spiritual lesson can my shadow sided can my shadow side teach me?
Mm.
Ooh. I have my cards here. I'll pick a random one.
Stop.
Ooh. What spiritual lesson can my shadow side teach me? And we have the Ace of Wands. So um, the shadow side is what's hidden, what's in this case below the clouds. Um, you can't you can hide you can hide your shadow side. You can hide deep the things that are not known, even not known to the outside world, but that you're even hiding away from yourself. That the lesson is, be truthful, be honest, be clear about your intentions, be clear about the intentions. Whatever clouds are above you, above the clouds, always the sun shines.
Mm. Yes, I saw a comment from Magda here, and she shared that she's going through a really powerful and transformational but difficult shift within her lives, which brings her literally down on her knees. It's there is a lot of darkness being involved. But as you said, and I love that you mentioned that sun and that light coming out, because this is exactly what it is: new opportunity, new beginning, especially within the clarity and understanding within the mind as well.
So the
Sorry
shadow
for
can
just
teach me.
jumping in.
Yeah, no, shadow. So shadow can teach you. There is always new opportunities, even in darkness, even in stuff that you hide for yourself.
Mhm. The shadow side or dark night of the soul is necessary for ascension. We all have light and dark, like the yin and yang. I love that. I'll show you guys that
Yeah.
comment. He wouldn't know light without dark or dark without the light. I absolutely love it because
Okay.
we got here to the key. Even though it's sometimes hard to understand, and even though it's hard to understand why us and why do we have to go through it. Sorry, guys, I'm messing with the screen a little bit, not intentionally. Sorry about that.
So let's go to your question,
Yes.
Luna.
Why is this lesson important for me? So the card I picked is the Nine of Wands in reverse. Nine of Wands in reverse talks about importance of not giving up. It talks about a feeling of being trapped and then releasing ourselves out of it. To me, Nine of Wands is the energy of a wounded healer. It may suggest that the worst or the biggest challenge may not be over, but you know how to free yourself because you're strong. You have the strength to overcome it. You have the ability to do it. Your life experience, whatever it is, has equipped you to face upcoming challenges. So the lesson here is to not give up. If you feel like giving up, don't, because it's not the end. It's just the beginning of a new cycle.
If you hold the card a bit closer to the camera, you can also see it. This one is of course very different than the Nine of Swords, which also is about challenges and everything. Yeah. What I see in a Nine of Wands card like this is not the prison bars that you see in the Nine of Swords, but I see a self-made boundaries. So the lesson is important also that you have to protect your own boundaries there, that you can feel safe, that you can create a safe space for yourself where you can let go of the shadow and of the things that you're hiding. They can come out behind the safe fence that you've created. Lovely. Lovely.
Lovely. Lovely.
Third question. What challenge might stand in the way of learning this lesson? Whoa.
Mm.
Oh, I'm taking this one. What challenge stand in the way of learning this lesson? The I, the Knight of Wands from the Toss Tarot. So that's actually that would be the King of Wands from the traditional ones. Um, the challenge that might stand in the way of learning this lesson is um, forgetting forgetting to use common sense. The Knight of Wands is all fire and no brain.
I've never heard a better description of Knight of Wands.
and and if you circle back to question one, what's the spiritual lesson? Is actually to open the brain and to open the mind and to open for the clarity and not just burn down the house or use the scorched earth that we see so much from this night. Uh, so it's actually the challenge is actually a bit less passion, a bit less of just passion, and a bit more of clarity, smartness, intelligence, brightness.
Mhm. Yeah, the heart coherence, which is getting into same level of energy, same harmony between the mind, the brain, as a physical organ, and
Mhm.
the heart as well.
Yeah. Last question, Luna. That's for you.
Yeah.
How
How
does my
does
shadow?
Go ahead.
How does my shadow inform my spirituality?
When I was shuffling the cards, this one fell on the floor, and we have a page of cups here. And again, this is the best example of an intuitive card reading because what I picked immediately is the importance of the connection with spirit through your heart, through your emotions, because the cups represents the element of water. The element of water is connected with emotions, with feeling. So first of all, how does my shadow inform my spirituality? It comes through emotions and feelings. It comes through what you feel and how you feel about certain aspect. This particular card, this girl is deep, deep within her emotions. She's feeling a lot, and she's very connected to that emotional side. We have here the Luna, here the intuition, which is guiding her, and she reaches up to the sky, offering herself to the divine and opening herself up to the guidance she's receiving. And how does my shadow inform my spirituality? That's actually a really deep question here. To me, by looking at this card, it's about freeing up in a sense of not having certain expectations, not having a certain way of, excuse me for a second. I'm sorry. Not forcing certain things to happen, not pushing my agenda onto others, rather than allowing yourself to feel what is there for you to feel. Page of Cups often, to me, represents creativity as well. So for many of you, the way out will be through creativity. And Spirit is reminding you of the importance of the process of creation, creation of your life, creation of that connection between us as humans and the higher energy, the energy of ourselves as well. So yeah, I'll show you the card one more time, because you may also find something for yourselves. It's like here, I'm really drawn to that image of the stars here. So seek guidance as well, and your emotions are the best guide within this situation you're dealing with.
Yeah, and of course we have Luna on the card, and of course the moon is one of the aspects of the shadow, the invisible side of it, and so
Yeah.
it allows you to guide yourself and to guide others with greater depth and empathy, um, and uncover your shadow aspects and work through them as part of your spiritual growth. So grow from grow from the shadow. Know that these aspects are there, know that they are there, but bring them out. Bring your own shadow to the surface. That's actually the
Mhm.
the big the big
Absolutely.
story there.
We need to remember, there's just like we can't see the back of Luna, only those who know me in person know the back of Luna, because Luna
Yep.
is not showing her back. We only can see one side of the moon, but there is that dark side of the moon, and we all have that. And I would like to read one more comment before we go from Prairie. I cannot thank you all enough for having me and allowing me to join. I just lost my mom last week, and my boyfriend of 8 years left me last night. So to be in divine, genuine company, to give my mind a break for a second, for sanity, my heart, my love, my energy goes to you and your heart. You're so brave. You're so strong. And the experience you've chosen as a soul for yourself is one of the most difficult. But I know that there is a reason in that, and it will make you only stronger.
Yeah.
You've got this. Please take care of yourself.
Yeah, I feel for you too. It's these are hard times, and you'll find that the urge to call mom can last for a few years. I still have it. My mother died 3 years ago, and every week I pick up the phone and lay it down again, not being able to call her, and I
Mm.
miss her still, and I miss my dad too, and that's that's like you said, that these are the paths that work in life, and it's good that they go before us. And yeah, and the boyfriend, Prairie, that's 8 years, a long time. You thought you had it, and now you lost everything in a short period of time.
But
Um,
you're not alone. You have
you're
new friends, new supportive group, which is just sending you a lot of light right now. And I hope you can feel it. And thank you for sharing this
not for sharing your
because it's a difficult situation, even to share. And it shows me your bravery and how strong you are.
bingo.
Mm.
So thanks all.
It's hard to say goodbye,
Yeah, it is today. It was such a
but
special episode, and
yes,
I'm
very.
really looking forward to next week,
Mhm. Yes.
Halloween.
Please join us for the Halloween special.
Yeah.
And I would love to see you all, guys, next week, Wednesday, 8 o'clock. If you can't join us live, then join us in whatever time suits you. Just leave a comment that you watched and you were with us.
That's
With
it.
that being said, thank you so much for your time, energy, presence, beautiful insights. I've got so much out of today's, and sorry we didn't get through even probably half of the comments.
Yeah.
Um, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all I can say. And it seems like not enough.
Thanks for all your love and support, and looking forward to you in a week. Bye
We love
bye.
you guys.
We love you
Mm.
all. Bye.